Regardless of what you thought of today's film, Susan Peters gets full marks for tackling a challenging and unsympathetic role, one that in the end even managed to skirt around the production code's usual prohibition against suicide. And here's an interesting bit of trivia for hardcore noir fans. The woman who played Emily is not credited, but that's Irish actress Margaret Tracy, making her debut in an American movie. She was the mother of actress Peggy Cummins, known to noir fans for her legendary performance as a sexy and psychotic carnival sharpshooter in Gun Crazy. Tracy and Peters got on famously while making this picture. In fact, Tracy, Peters, and screenwriter Charles Bennett planned to develop another starring vehicle for Peters called The Miracle of San Michele. Producer Irving Cummings, Sr. and Jr., knew the story of Susan Peters' return to the screen would garner lots of publicity. But they didn't leave it there. While the film was in production, they flooded the trade press with news of cinema advancements to be seen for the first time. Sections of the film color-tinted for effect, which never happened, a new gizmo called a Vocagem that created background sound effects on the set rather than overlaying them in post-production, a motorized contraption designed by Burnett Guffey that synced the camera dolly to Peters' wheelchair, allowing for perfect tracking shots following her around the grounds. Well, the only thing new among all this was the producer. This was the first producer credit for writer Irving Cummings Jr., who'd produce only 3 more movies, 2 with Groucho Marx, before moving on to television. To quote a Hollywood Reporter review at the time of the film's release, Susan Peters' reappearance on the screen is a triumph of courage and artistic sensitivity, a tour de force in every sense of that much-abused phrase. The reviewer predicted handsome box office returns and a bright future for the young actress. But Peters' comeback was short-lived. The Miracle of San Michele was stillborn, and The Sign of the Ram turned out to be her final feature film. Peters went on to earn excellent reviews in a pair of plays, The Glass Menagerie and The Barretts of Wimpole Street. Touring the country with these shows was grueling for her, however, and she was forced by exhaustion to abandon the stage. In 1951, she starred in a daytime soap opera called Miss Susan, but daily production soon wore her down. She became a recluse, living on her brother's ranch in Lemon Grove, California. She entered the hospital in 1952 in a terminal stage of illness. The attending doctor noted the cause of death as kidney failure, bronchial pneumonia, and anorexia, but then stated more simply, she had lost the will to live. July 3rd would have been Susan Peters' 99th birthday. She died at 31. Richard Quine and Peters had divorced at her insistence in 1948. He became a director in the 1950s, notably helping develop the career of Columbia superstar Kim Novak. They'd make 4 films together and were scheduled to marry in 1960, but Novak broke it off. Quine went on to have a fine career, but when he could no longer get projects off the ground, he fell into depression. And over the years, whenever the subject of Susan Peters came up, Quine said, "I still hear that gunshot and will for the rest of my life." That life ended on June 10, 1989, when Quine shot himself with a hunting rifle in his Beverly Hills home. Now remember to drop us a note on our Facebook page or Twitter feed, and we'll be back in genuine noir terrain next week when the meanest man in the movies pays a visit to Noir Alley. Lawrence Tierney stars in Bodyguard, a rollicking bee from the redoubtable Richard Fleischer concerning murder and mystery in a Los Angeles meatpacking plant. How can you pass that up?